In the heart of the desert, amidst the vast expanse, Danica and 3 fellow vampires are airdropped by 2 helicopters near an ancient temple. Upon entering the sacred structure, they unearth a concealed passage by removing a single brick from the ground. Inside, they stumble upon inscriptions on the wall that trace back 4 millennia, hinting at the cradle of civilization. Suddenly, the ground gives way, revealing a cavity from which a malevolent hand emerges, snatching one of the vampires and dragging it down. In a swift response, the others retract to rescue their comrade, only to find his head missing as the body succumbs to flames, disintegrating into ashes. Simultaneously, a ferocious creature emerges from the abyss. Meanwhile, in the bustling city, chaos erupts as a warehouse is engulfed in an explosion, a result of an assault by Blade, a vampire hunter. A unique vampire hybrid, Blade possesses superhuman abilities while retaining the ability to walk in daylight and withstand silver. Despite his efforts, his claims of vampires preying on humans are met with skepticism, and the police eagerly await an opportunity to apprehend him for alleged murders. As a few vampires attempt to flee the exploding warehouse, Blade's incredible speed enables him to dodge their escaping vehicle before causing it to erupt in flames. Engaging the remaining vampires in hand-to-hand combat, Blade swiftly turns them to ash. His loyal friend Whistler arrives in a truck, delivering Blade's car to pursue 2 vampires escaping on vehicles. A high-speed chase ensues with exchanges of gunfire on the road. Blade successfully eliminates one biker by running them over and dispatches the other through his car window. However, the first vampire resurfaces, leaping onto the car, only to meet a swift demise at Blade's hands. 2 vampires remain in a car ahead, prompting Blade to employ his car's lights as a lethal weapon, incinerating one while the other manages to elude him in the shadows. Following that, Blade forcefully nudges their vehicle with his own, causing it to overturn. Upon emerging, he makes a startling discovery. The remaining vampire, seemingly staked with silver, remains intact and reveals himself to be a human donning fake fangs. It becomes clear that Blade has fallen into a trap orchestrated by Danica, who is covertly recording the event to frame him for the alleged murder of an innocent civilian. With the approaching police, Blade hastily retreats. Later, back at his hideout, Blade receives a gift from Whistler, a special inhaler for the serum that curbs his vampiric thirst. Simultaneously, Danica sends the fabricated video to the FBI. Returning home, she finds that the creature from the temple, now named Drake, has fed on 5 people, taking on a more humanoid form. Drake expresses disdain for modern vampires, while Danica seeks his guidance to lead the vampire community and eliminate Blade. At a train station, a group of young vampires assaults a seemingly vulnerable lady with a baby, only to discover it's a doll. The lady, revealed to be Abigail, a vampire hunter, swiftly eliminates the vampires one by one, showcasing her exceptional martial skills and specialized weaponry, including a concealed knife in her shoe. Later on, Whistler ventures out to purchase a newspaper, and news of the Blade case is already circulating. This unintentionally leads the FBI to track him. In the dead of night, agents launch an attack on the hideout. Instructing Blade to escape, Whistler initiates the self-destruction of all computers, engaging in a firefight with the agents. Despite sustaining an injury to the leg, Whistler bravely defends the hideout. Meanwhile, Blade confronts agents in hand-to-hand combat while Whistler faces another gunshot. Trapped in a dire situation, he's left with no alternative but to trigger an explosive, sacrificing himself to obliterate all their equipment. Just as the building erupts in flames, Blade makes a daring leap to safety, only to find himself encircled by relentless agents forcing him to surrender. Subsequently, at the police station, FBI agents mock Blade for his belief in vampires, labeling him a serial killer. They leave him in the hands of Dr. Vance for a mental examination, where Vance, treating Blade as deranged, subjects him to seemingly trivial questions to assess his grip on reality. Declaring Blade psychotic, Vance administers tranquilizers while the FBI and local law enforcement dispute over custody. In a sudden revelation, Blade discerns Vance as a familiar, a servant pledged to a vampire leader, confirming it by unveiling a concealed tattoo shared by the FBI agent. This unsettling truth exposes the intricacies of Danica's elaborate plan to eliminate Blade. Just as Danica and other vampires, including Jarko, infiltrate the station masquerading as a transfer team, Blade, weakened by tranquilizers, appears defenseless. However, the situation takes an unexpected turn when a window shatters, immolating one of the vampires. Hannibal, a vampire hunter, emerges, launching a fierce assault on the vampires. While Jarko momentarily overpowers Hannibal, this distraction allows Blade to use his inhaler, regaining his strength. He swiftly repels Jarko and retrieves his belongings, joining Hannibal in the corridors. Together with Abigail, revealed to be Whistler's daughter, they engage in combat against both cops and vampires. Faced with a tightening encirclement, Blade escapes through the ceiling, while Abigail, armed with a special bow, creates a path through the vampire group. As they make their way outside, they witness Blade leaping from a window, explaining he returned for his sword. Cops await them, but Dex suddenly appears, rescuing the trio in a van. Their escape is briefly hindered by Jarko, who is swiftly incapacitated by an arrow from Abigail. Shortly afterward, Blade is transported to a new sanctuary where he discovers that Abigail has assembled her own vampire hunter team, known as the Night Stalkers. Drawing from the wisdom passed down by her father, Whistler, the team comprises the skilled weaponry designer Hedges, the visually impaired scientist Summerfield, and Summerfield's young daughter Zoe. Blade learns that it was Summerfield who crafted his new inhaler, a project Whistler had hoped Blade would collaborate on. However, Blade dismisses them as amateurs, viewing them more as kids. Hannibal shares his personal history, disclosing that he used to be a vampire and was once Danica's pawn until Abigail rescued him and Summerfield cured him. Despite Hannibal's transformation, Blade remains uninterested, adamant about their lack of experience. The team then unveils ancient artifacts, exposing the veracity of the Dracula legend. Dracula, who Danica refers to as Drake, is revealed to be the original vampire, having existed for 7,000 years. Unlike other vampires, Dracula is impervious to sunlight, and while the team discusses this revelation, Drake ventures out during daylight to explore modern society. However, his encounter at a goth store results in a violent outburst triggered by disdain for Dracula merchandise. Meanwhile, Summerfield discloses her ongoing work on a biological weapon named Daystar, a virus tailored to target vampires specifically. However, the virus's effectiveness is inconsistent, requiring untainted DNA for improvement. Since Dracula's blood remains pure, the team decides to acquire a sample of it. Blade proposes targeting the familiars to reach Drake. Before embarking on their mission, Hedge equips the team with an array of advanced weapons, including a UV arc. The Night Stalkers track down various familiars by following distinctive tattoos, engaging in confrontations that yield no valuable information. After a series of fruitless encounters, the trio resorts to extreme measures, dangling a familiar off a bridge until Vance contacts him. Armed with a name, they infiltrate Vance's office, overcoming numerous guards on each floor. However, their quest takes an unexpected turn when Hannibal discovers the lifeless body of the real Vance behind a desk before they can glean any information. The figure before them claiming to be Vance is, in fact, Drake, who swiftly transforms and skillfully avoids Abigail's shot, capturing Hannibal. After stabbing Hannibal, Drake leaps out of the window, with Blade in hot pursuit. They navigate the city, causing destruction as they break into a building. Reaching the rooftop, Blade discovers Drake holding a kidnapped baby. Drake discloses that he has been resurrected because other vampires desire the ability to withstand sunlight. He callously throws the baby, vanishing into the shadows while Blade catches the child. Back at the hideout, Abigail tends to Hannibal's wounds, encouraging him not to give up. However, upon their return, Abigail struggles to conceal her sorrow over the loss of her father. Simultaneously, Drake returns to Danica and decides to feed on her. Later, Summerfield informs the team about the vampire's laboratory at Biomedical Enterprises, revealing suspicious acquisitions such as bone marrow growth supplements and genetic sequencing enzymes. Blade and Abigail opt to investigate, reaching a remote warehouse. Suddenly, the FBI agent arrives with his vampire leader, prompting Blade to swiftly eliminate her and coerce the agent for answers. Inside the facility, the agent unveils a shocking revelation. Hundreds of humans in stasis, wired up as perpetual blood donors. This sinister revelation unveils the vampire's final solution, a blood farming facility replacing their primal hunting methods. Enraged, Blade shoots the agent and compels the computer technician to shut down the facility, leading to the demise of all the sedated humans. Meanwhile, at the hideout, the rest of the team is unwinding in various ways, unaware of Whistler's entrance. Whistler approaches Hannibal, who initially appears confused until Whistler's true identity is revealed. He is in fact Drake. In a matter of seconds, Summerfield hears an unsettling noise and decides to investigate. She stumbles upon a blood-covered ball and instructs her daughter Zoe to hide, unaware that she is walking past the lifeless bodies of Dex and Hedges. Summerfield becomes the next victim when Drake discovers her. From her hiding place, Zoe hears her mother's scream and contemplates whether it's safe to emerge. However, her path is abruptly blocked by Drake. Upon their return, Blade and Abigail are met with a grim scene. Hedges, Dex and Summerfield lie dead, with Hannibal and Zoe nowhere to be found. Summerfield's body has been grotesquely arranged to mimic Jesus, and Drake leaves a threatening message with her blood. Meanwhile, Hannibal regains consciousness, restrained in the vampire's lair. A seemingly harmless Pomeranian dog transforms into a monstrous creature, and Danica and Jarko reveal their venture into creating vampire dogs. They interrogate Hannibal, seeking information on Blade's plans. When Hannibal remains silent, Danica threatens to turn him into a vampire again, leaving him thirsty until he succumbs to feeding on Zoe. Simultaneously, Abigail copes with her grief by honing her archery skills, displaying remarkable accuracy in every shot. Blade senses a new presence in the building. Calder, another member of the team. Calder reveals a video message sent by Summerfield before her demise, explaining that she developed a functional strain of the Daystar virus, currently in Calder's possession. Injecting it into Drake would mix with his blood and eradicate every vampire in the vicinity. However, uncertainties linger about its impact on Blade due to his hybrid nature. With limited time, Calder has managed to create only one projectile with the Daystar virus, placing the responsibility on Abigail to make it count. Utilizing the emergency trackers implanted in each team member, Abigail swiftly pinpoints Hannibal's location. Armed with an arsenal of weapons, she and Blade embark on a rescue mission. At the vampire's lair, the relentless assault on Hannibal persists, as he steadfastly refuses to divulge information. Abigail introduces chaos by dispersing liquid silver into the air conditioning system, causing the vampires to cough ashes. Seizing the opportunity, Blade descends through the skylight, engaging the vampires in combat, while Abigail frees Hannibal. Blade finds himself encircled by guards, but his formidable skills effortlessly clear a path as he confronts more vampires. Utilizing specialized weapons to incinerate them, Abigail joins the fray, dispatching guards while searching for Zoe. After eliminating several vampires, she locates Zoe, thwarting an attempt by a vampire to grab her from behind using a UV arc. Meanwhile, Hannibal attempts to rejoin the battle, but encounters a pack of vampire dogs. Evading their pursuit, he executes a last-second maneuver, tricking the dogs into leaping out of the window. However, a misstep leads him to fall back into his cell, where Jarko discovers him, initiating a hand-to-hand confrontation. Initially appearing at a disadvantage, Hannibal cleverly places an explosive in Jarko's mouth, incinerating him. Subsequently, Blade engages in a fierce sword fight with Drake, both demonstrating exceptional prowess without either landing a decisive blow. Some vampires contemplate shooting Blade to aid their master, but Abigail intervenes, eliminating them with her bow. In a swift turn of events, Danica emerges wielding a gun. However, Hannibal intervenes, tackling her and initiating a brawl. Meanwhile, Blade propels Drake through a window, prompting both men to abandon their swords and engage in hand-to-hand combat. With remarkable strength, Drake overpowers Blade, eventually transforming into his monstrous form. Despite Blade's attempts to counter with kicks and punches, Drake's superior strength prevails, tossing Blade aside. As Drake prepares to deliver a fatal blow, Abigail seizes the moment to shoot the virus arrow. Unfortunately, Drake catches and discards it. Abigail persistently distracts Drake with normal arrows while Blade seizes the virus arrow, finally injecting Drake with the lethal substance. Drake roars in agony as the virus merges with his blood, erupting from his body and exterminating every vampire in the building, including Danica. As the vampires disintegrate into ash, Drake reverts to his human form and acknowledges Blade for fighting with honor before succumbing to death. Subsequently, a swarm of FBI agents infiltrates the now desolate building, discovering destruction and no bodies except for Blade's. In the aftermath, the FBI Science Division prepares to conduct an autopsy on Blade. To their surprise, Blade abruptly awakens, forcefully incapacitating everyone. It is revealed that the virus failed to kill Blade because the human part of his heart continued beating, albeit at a slowed pace, inducing a comatose state until his body could reinitiate combat. Blade makes a daring escape on a bike, poised to embark on a new chapter in his life. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching and have a good day.